All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Racha, Kodash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. I'd like to say Shalom to the elect that's teaching this word now, true faith and sincerity. And I just want to title this Chip Talk because that is the talk of the town. You know, that's the spirit that's on the planet Earth. This next major prophecy to take place is the mandating of the MOTB. And everything is falling in play. You know, everything is going right according to schedule, man. As you can see, World War III brewing in the midst. You know, now is the time for this prophecy to take place, which is the hour of temptation. You know, because it talks about how before the sun and the moon will be darkened, this tribulation will have to come. You know? So this is from the dailyhuddle.com, and it reads, United Nations proposes digital ID system tied to bank accounts and mobile payment platforms. So as you can see, this is the move. And it didn't say United States, or it just didn't say China or Russia, Sweden, the United Nations. So it's a conglomerate of nations coming together on this one agenda, man. You know? It says the UN is proposing a universal digital ID system that would directly connect to people's bank accounts and payment apps. A comprehensive new policy agenda from the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres details an identification network designed to digitize and streamline the process of verifying people's identities on a global scale. See? So this is not just reserved to a certain region in the earth. No, as we just read, this is on a global scale. Let's see. It said the proposal is outlined in a session dedicated to global digital cooperation and sustainable development goals. Let's see. It said digital IDs linked with bank and mobile money accounts can improve the delivery for social protection coverage and serve to better reach eligible beneficiaries. Let me jump down. It says the proposal follows a move by the World Economic Forum to explore a system that will track and verify human identities using biometrics. And that's the spirit that's on the earth, man. You know, we ain't got to read more. The title itself told it all. And as you can see, biometrics. Because the devices of this devil actually is going to lead to a device. Let's get that real quick. Because when you hear that word device, you know, you read it in the scriptures. It's concerning a certain plan, a plot, scheme, you know, usually in an evil manner. But why in this time, you know, that word device is synonymous with something electronic, you know, object, from something you put batteries in or Bluetooth. Because ultimately this man device would lead to a device. Psalms 140 verse 8, it says, grant now, O Lord, the desires of the wicked. And what is this man desires? You know, to crown his enterprise success, to accomplish this new world order. And a bridge to that is him hipping, actually implanting people with that grain of rice to track them. And this is his way of keeping his head above water, so to speak. To where now you have to comply, or lest your chip get cut off. You had to be in a certain, the citizen score, or you know, to where you can't speak against certain ideologies, you know, certain movements. You have to go with the flow, or else. It says, further not his wicked device, in which, of course, it's his plans and the plots and schemes, but it's actually a device. It talks about that in Psalms 21 as well. They have intended a wicked device, which they are not able to perform. So the Lord is going to stop this man in his tracks. That's why the scripture talks about that in the book of Job, the 20th chapter, when he has begun to eat. He began to fill his belly. You know, and ultimately that's those thoughts being accomplished. But all those thoughts, it's not going to be accomplished. The New World Order is not going to come to pass. It says, further not his wicked device, lest they exalt themselves. So they show you this device is concerning him staying in power, being on top. You know, that plan, which is the New World Order, that agenda, is it all centered around to this man in this electronic device. And if he was able to accomplish that, this man will be a perpetual ruler. But it is in the records. Yahweh Shema Shai is going to disappoint this man. You know, and just going back, that this is a global. Let's get that in the book of Revelation, the 3rd chapter. This is a global thing. You don't see a hard push for Christianity. You know, you got these certain Arab countries. They talk about the image of the beast is Caesarea, and the mark is sin. You don't see this heavy push of Christianity. You know, somehow the Arab countries, they converted to Christianity, and that's the push throughout the earth. No, man. Everybody is, you know, in one mind. You know, these other nations is in one mind concerning implementing that thing, man. You know, you got these different CBDCs, you know, being started up throughout the world. Show you where we at in this process. We getting closer and closer to this time, man. Revelation 3 and verse 10, it reads, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation. So this shows how important the words of Yahweh Shema Shai is. Wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. This is the bridge to our salvation. Hold fast the words of Yahweh Shai. Because in that, he's going to keep us from the hour of temptation. It's not going to be of our own merits. We got a formula. You know, it's going to be Yahweh Shai to keep us. Just like in a time when you read Daniel the 3rd chapter, which Spirit, I'm going to go to that. Because, matter of fact, let me get it now. Because I was talking about this global conglomerate of nations. How this is going to come upon all the world. And we seeing this world is in cahoots with this agenda. So matter of fact, let's get this real quick. Daniel 3 and verse 3. It says, then the princes, the governors, and the captains, the judges, and the treasurers, the counselors, the showers, and all the rulers of the provinces were gathered together unto the dedication of the image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. And they stood before the image that Nebuchadnezzar had set up. See? So they were all in agreement concerning, you know, because there was a literal image that Nebuchadnezzar had set up, and people had to actually bow down when they heard the music. But we seeing that today. You know, these nations are gathering together unto the dedication of the image. You know, this system. And it's going to be presented. You know, your allegiance is going to be on the table when they present that mark, man. You know, when that herald cry, by the way of the news stations, you know, any platform to relay this message from the elites, for you to bow down when you hear it, that's concerning, you know, you going to them C-HIP stations, man. That's when the line is going to be drawn in the sand, so to speak. That's when it's really going to be drawn in the sand. Ain't no gray areas when the hour of temptation comes. Because, yeah, we have already separated from this man, but you still have to, abide in this society. You have to go to work, you got to pay bills. But it's going to get to the point that that line, you know, it's going to be made clear and obvious on what side you stand on when that hour of temptation comes. And as you read down in this chapter, during the third chapter, one of my favorite chapters, you had the three holy children take that stance. They wasn't for Nebuchadnezzar and his idol. He stood fast, and the results that Yahushua saved them, man. So going back, Revelation 3 and 10, it says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation. See, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. And that's what we seeing. This hour of temptation is approaching. And it says it's going to come upon all the world, as we just see in the article. The title itself, UN, United Nations, proposes digital ID system tied to bank accounts and mobile payment platform. So it ain't, like I said, it didn't just say the United States or China or Sweden. No, it said the United Nations. So the conglomerates of nations, all these nations coming together towards this agenda, man. And what else could we talk about in this time but this? Because this is what's on the table. This is the next scene in a movie, so to speak, before the destruction. You know, this hour of temptation, Jacob's trouble. Which a big part of that is the mandate of that thing, man. You know, so matter of fact, let's get this Revelation 13 and 16. What else we going? It says, and he calls of all. And you go into this word, calls of, it goes back to constitute or ordain. So meaning what? This is actually going to be in law. This is actually going to be signed. And it's going to be a decree. Just like as we read in Daniel the 3rd chapter. When you read that chapter, it's pretty much mirrors what we see today, man. But instead of a gold statue, it's a damn C-HIP that the people are going to bow to. You know, that by the way of them sticking their arm out and willingly receiving that thing, man. But it's going to be a decree. It's going to actually be a decree to where the only way for you to continue is to bow down and take it. But it says, and he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And come on, what else could they be talking about? It can't be talking about any philosophy or ideologies. Because if it's anything outside the C-HIP, we'll be damned. Because if it was sin, or they say this modern form of Christianity, we'll all be damned. You know, raised up on Christmas, and we invested in an Easter outfit and all that shit. So that would condemn us. This right here is a choice that you're going to have to make a decision. You know, it says, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. And that's what we coming into. We coming into that time where, it's about to be straights. But we can go into the records. Was written for a time, written for our learning. We can read the latter end of these men that took a hard stance and trusted in Yahweh by Shema Shai. What was the results? They was kept you know. So yeah, Akim, I just hope it was edifying. I like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Racha, Kudash. I like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect. The teaching this word in all true faith and sincerity. DTA, Bible Ball. Soon. Very soon.